Hello? Okay. I was just being very quiet. What's up, everybody? How we all doing? Jan, Ross, Red Faye. What's going on, everybody?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for asking. That's what chat just said.
Jason, how was your weekend? You said you were sculpting this weekend.
I did some sculpting this weekend.
Nice.
I played some video games this weekend.
What did you play? Final Fantasy?
I did get to level 71 maybe in Final Fantasy with my warrior. I don't remember. It's at that part of the MMO grind where every level takes forever.
Yeah.
And the max level is 100, and I'm at 71. And the only thing that I will say negative about Final Fantasy is that it's kind of more like watching a movie for long stretches of it than playing a game.
I see.
It's all narrative, which a lot of people love, right? The story's actually pretty good in a lot of parts, but it's like, okay, if I have to watch another cutscene, I'm done. I'm done with cutscenes, folks. Especially when I'm pressed and I'm like, okay, I want to jump on and play for a little bit, grind some levels, yada, 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 and it's 18 million cutscenes about a story I don't care about. Which is a lot of where it is right now.
K Shorty says, Jason, you got like 1,000 talking quests before you get to the next dungeon.
Yes. You've played this game, I see. It really is. So they sell these packs for like $20.
Okay.
You can just go to max level on any class you want. I don't know if you have to have one class at max level before you can buy those.
Oh, interesting.
But every now and then I'm like, I should go look online because I'm about at that point where I'm just ready to be max level.
Do the max level content?
Well, no, going back and doing all the content, like the dungeons is cool.
Yeah.
But you can unlock all of the story to get all of the access. And you can basically buy your way through all the progression. And I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm so tired of this story. But then the story gets good again and I forget. So, anyway, no free pub.
No free pub for Final Fantasy
for
14.
Square Enix.
Sazzle says, oh, is this a Saturn 9 Dreadnought?
No.
It is.
It is.
I almost, for a second, thought it wasn't, but then I'm like, wait a second. We talked about this just before this.
Yeah, it is. Go Zundite. It most certainly is a Saturn IX Dread.
And we're going to be doing some OneStep through the airbrush, you said?
Through the airbrush, yeah.
Oh.
I figured it might be fun today, since I just, before stream, I based all of my Star Wars.
Right, the Legion stuff.
Yeah, so all of it is wet basing material all over those models, so I can't really do anything with them right now. Right. Because I'll guaranteed stick my fingers all in that basing material.
Oh, Wad, holy moly, at this point, there's gone to be longer than any relationship I've been in. 52 months. Wad.
62?
52.
52. Oh, he's still. Rookie numbers.
Still, that's all. Wow. The longest relationship you've ever been in, Wad. Is that what you said? Huh.
Was 51 the previous longest?
Maybe.
Is that a mark that we just made? Did we just learn something about you? 4 years, 3 months is the jet time.
Wad, I'm happy for you.
For relationship with Wad?
Yeah.
I feel like that would be important stuff to talk about when you first meet somebody, right? Right, I'd like for you to know that my standard relationship time is 4 years, 3 months. So you can start planning out your life now should you choose to spend some time with me. Right? That's a level of honesty we forget is necessary in life.
Just to make sure that they know how long this commitment is going to be?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I mean, when you go get a loan, they tell you how long it's going to be to pay it back.
That's true.
Right?
This is true.
Jen and I just made 11 years.
Nice.
So,
we're
done.
When was your anniversary?
Huh?
When was it?
January 31st.
Oh, nice. 11 years. That's a great time. A long time.
Yeah, I feel like that's enough.
Hey, Jen, I know you're out there watching.
I feel like that's enough.
Congratulations.
You know what Jen will say? She'll be in. If I don't even have to look up. Is if she's listening, she will find a way to type. Well, we had a good run. That's what she'll do. You'll see Jen type in there. Well, we had a good run.
Slayer Street, what's going on? Mo, Big Daddy, Mr. Pink, Lyle.
But we did some hobby time. I didn't stream. Jen and I last Sunday, if you weren't around for the last week's recap of the weekend.
Yeah.
Jen and I last Sunday, not yesterday, but the previous Sunday, we had gotten some sculpting gear and had made a decision to sit down and sculpt. And so Jen sculpted her first model ever, which is silly.
Yeah.
It's silly how good it was.
That's great.
And so we did that, and I started a model, built an armature, did all that stuff. And then, so she started painting hers yesterday.
Jen just said, you don't know.
I don't know what.
I don't know. Jen, what were you replying to right there?
Oh, no, she knows that I said she was just going to put in there that we had a good run.
Oh.
And she goes, you don't know. I do know, because she's probably laughing at me saying, I was just typing, we had a good run.
Maybe that's why she said you don't know.
Yeah.
So she started painting hers already?
Yeah, she started painting hers. So she's got this little bear and a hooded sweatshirt that she's doing, and she's going to paint a tie-dye hoodie on it and all that.
Nice.
It's really cool.
That is cool.
So she started painting, and I kept sculpting. And I'm still nowhere near done. So this is how this is going to go. Jen's going to finish that one, start another one, finish that one, start another one, finish that one, and then maybe by the time she's done with her third sculpted model, I'll be ready to paint mine. I'm excited to bring it on stream and paint it, though. I will be bringing my model. Should I ever finish it, I guess. I should say that. The chances of me finishing a big sculpt like that are slim and none, but we'll see. You never know. You just never know, Christopher.
That's true. We don't.
I would love to paint it on stream if I can. I don't even know what it is yet. It keeps growing in what it's going to be. It's a big monster. And I'm hoping to get some good progress on it during the week this week. I might take a few nights at home and work. I might work on it tonight because I got on a really good head of steam last night. I'll show you some of the pictures.
Yeah. DT Corgi says, can OneStep go over black base coat instead of white? And I said, you're probably going to do a highlight, right, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we'll do a zenithal. You want to set up contrast on the base model. I know they're called contrast paints and everything else, but they work better when you have a pre-existing contrast on the model, and that's done with like a dark color and a light color over the top.
And Frosty Donkey says, do you have any tips for painting black armor fast, working through 1,000 points of black Templars, using coal black as my base?
You want me to make you mad and paint this guy black with our OneStep paints?
I was just about to say, I'm like, heck, you could probably do this guy black.
I don't know that anybody wants me to do that to him, but
Black Templars were in the Horus Heresy, right?
no.
No?
After, what did you just say?
Black Templars are in the Horus Heresy?
No, they're not.
What would be a black armor?
Raven Guard.
Raven Guard.
Iron Hands.
Okay, so quite a few.
Dark Angels. Dark Angels were black until after the Horus Heresy.
Mo says, I want you to do that, Jason.
Do what?
You can paint this guy black. That could be cool.
You want me to do black?
Sure.
You really? Okay.
No, only if, what do you want to do? What were you planning on?
No, I was going to do a color. I was going to maybe do like Dark Angels green or something like that, but I can do whatever.
Dark Angels green could be cool though, Jason. I might convince him to do that instead, chat.
But we have a couple of really good black armor videos on YouTube. Maybe Chris can drum up the links for you.
Yeah.
that will show you how I tend to paint black armor, that makes it pretty quick and simplified, and that you build up contrast in blacks and grays or blues like Payne's gray, and highlight it to a color that's much brighter than the black you want, and then use a black filter over all of that, either our black transparent or a black wash over the top, very thin. So you would thin the wash way out, and then put it over the top of the model that you had set up with your coloring. I like blues to go underneath black. Purples can work too.
What would be a good white for World Eaters, Jason?
A good white?
Yeah, but with a dirtier scheme.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that white, you would do like, I mean, the white that we've done with this towel model is a great start for anything you want to paint white, right? And it, even though it's towel and it was painted to be a little cleaner, this video is really great because it starts with like the dark navy blue, then works up through the cool gray, kind of slate gray and cool gray up into white. And it gives you a white that would be great to then dirty up, because we don't really use white for anything except on a couple of the panel lines, right? Where we started to do highlights, we used white. But there's no white on this. A little bit of transparent white to brighten it up. But it's mostly the bright grays. And so you get to a white, because it's just the brightest color on there, that translates really well for dirty when you need it to, because it has a darker shade anyway. If you paint things pure white, then you wind up slathering a bunch of wash on them to get them dirty, and that doesn't work as well as it sounds like it should.
Death Company, Dreadnought, Thousand Suns, Alpha Legion... There are many votes.
Oh, for this guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
What will Jason do? We'll find out. Mo says, have you done Alpha Legion in a while?
No.
Alpha Legion. What color is that again? Is that like blue?
Like turquoise.
Turquoisey blue?
It's like green blue, seafoam greenish blue. So we could do it with mixing some OneStep colors.
Commando Ken says time to paint it with bronze. Never a bad choice, Commando Ken.
No. How about no?
I like the inner workings as bronze.
Oh, that might be a thing that we could do.
The mechanical bits.
Yeah, that might be a thing we could do. Use OneStep with metallic in it. Although I'm going to airbrush all the armor, so that's probably not.
Coyote says, I would love to see a Heresy era Ultramarine.
Ultramarines?
I think everything has been said.
I think everything has been said. We have all the legions now represented. I'm not an Alpha Legion fan, so that doesn't like really get me jazzed. Gesundheit, by the way.
Death Guard, says Super Bleeder. You'll just have to wait and find out what he ends up doing.
I like the idea of, well, let's think, because I have to pick a zenithal top coat now, and using a color other than white can be really, really cool with these types of paints. So picking the color now is going to be key, right? So the Alpha Legion one might be kind of cool. I could do like yellow and then blue over the top of it and play around. I don't know.
TK421 says, all the OneStep colors named with the regular equivalent for when we want to add more layers, question mark?
Yeah. Yeah, for ones that have...
Some of them are new.
An equivalent, they're like that. About half of them are new.
Thank you, Ryan Scurvy.
And half of them are not. Now realize that they are not going to translate as being one-to-one representations of the opaque color, simply because you're going to put them on very translucent over a base coat color.
Yeah.
And so they'll never really look like themselves.
Okay.
That's just the fact with non-opaque colors, right? So when it says shadow flesh, it's going to work really great with shadow flesh. They won't be the same in the way they look on the model, unless you were to thin your shadow flesh way down and glaze it. So hopefully that makes sense. Same with royal purple, orange.
Ooh.
The orange is not the same.
It's not. You said?
It's not the same color as orange in the main line, but it's an orange. It's a pure orange. It's just not going to read the same. So you'll find when you look at the naming, they work great together, but don't expect them to be the same. Is the way I would say that.
Ooh. Corgi's asking, what are your 2 favorite legions, Jason? Would you say Blood Angels is one?
Blood Angels.
Yeah.
Dark Angels. Probably.
Oh, okay. Dark Angels?
Yeah.
I like the Crimson.
I really like the way that Ultramarines look. I can't argue with the fact that Ultramarines done correctly are just one of the best looking legions.
Yeah.
That blue with gold, even that model that we did really fast, looked really good.
It came out great.
So Ultramarines look really good. Can't lie. You know, a crisp blue with white stripes, red, gold or bronze trim, brown leather. I think Ultramarines have the ultimate color package. Everybody else is kind of drab.
You know what?
Even the brighter ones like Imperial Fist and Blood Angels just don't work. Ultramarines just have the right color balance. So,
I love the Crimson Fists right now.
Crimson Fists? Yeah.
Crimson Fists.
Yep.
That little pop of red.
Yep. Of crimson.
No. That's not crimson.
It's crimson.
What? No! I painted them all yellow!
Fisters! Yeah, they weren't around in the heresy, though.
Yeah, I know. I know.
He said legion.
I know.
There are no longer legions. There are chapters now.
Philip and I have been playing.
So when you say legion, that's heresy. When you say chapter, that's 40K.
Philip and I have been playing Space Marine 2.
Oh, okay, yeah, the video game.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like that game.
Do you?
I actually do.
Right.
It's very, like...
I tried to play some of the single-player campaign, and it just wasn't fun for me. I don't know why. I need to go back and revisit it.
You got to play with friends.
Yeah.
I'm not playing that game by myself ever, probably.
It didn't seem that fun.
I like just, like, the shooty games.
The first Space Marine I thought was great, but it was against orcs, and it was outlandish and crazy, and, you know, it's like an ARPG.
Game Delay says, I'm not planning to bring much paint with me to Adepticon, but I have some Battletech primed and taupe, and I'm buying OneStep. What paint should you bring/buy to go with OneStep? Oh,
great question. For Battletech, I think you'd probably want... Are you painting with any metallics, Game Delay, or are you doing everything non-metallic? I would bring white blue. Bright tints that you can use to brighten up colors to highlight them with. So pale yellow, white blue, stuff. Basically those two. Maybe white and black. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Would be good. That might be all I'd bring if I wasn't using metallics.
I did.
They paint so well, and the fact that you can take a white or a highlight color, and spray it over the top. Like we'll show you some of that today. And then put the paint back over the top of it is just so good, right?
Game Delay said, I haven't decided yet on metals. I'm open.
So you might bring some metals. Up to you. All right, I gotta pick a legion.
Dark green.
Well, but Dark Angels weren't dark green then.
Oh, they weren't.
They were black.
Oh, right.
So boop 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 boopy doop.
Is there any dark green?
We just did yellow, so we're not doing Imperial Fists. We haven't done blue in a long... Well, I guess we have. Yeah. I guess we did that guy.
What about Death Guard?
No.
White?
Yeah, I don't want to do white because I don't really have a good white yet. We're not releasing our white for a while. That wouldn't be the same, I don't think. I want to really show off how these airbrush and give you really vibrant colors. So, man, the Heresy was really boring, wasn't it?
Well, you think? Because you just did yellow.
I just did yellow. I don't want to do yellow again.
You
We could do blue.
red.
We could do blue, or let's do Alpha Legion.
You want to do Alpha Legion?
I mean, Alpha Legion is the coolest color. I would like to do something in blue, like Ultramarine, but Alpha Legion makes sense to me because it's it gives us a different coloring.
Sure.
That sea blue, sea foam. It's not green. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's blue, green blue. So what would I do as an underpaint for that?
Iron Warriors, says Panic Bone.
To do the Zenithal. No, I have a whole Iron Warriors army we're painting up, but that's with metallics. So all the armies in Heresy are really boring.
Color wise.
Yeah. Because they were all like grays.
What about Space Wolves?
Gray.
Oh yeah, graphite gray would be cool for Space Wolves.
Gray. Yeah. I mean, we could do that. Let's do some color though. Let's have some fun with color. So we can mix some OneStep. We can show OneStep medium with some
Hey,
other
Kat, how
colors.
you doing?
We can do all the fun things. But I'm thinking
Salamanders, were they in Orzersey?
I'm thinking that something like a Zenithal of Warm Flesh or Dark Warm Flesh might be cool. Let me walk you through how you might test this to see when you're doing a paint scheme that is going to be, done in OneStep colors. Let's see what might happen here. Let's grab some blue, and I'm going to see what mixing the two of these together looks like. It won't be the same as spraying one over the other, but it'll get me some semblance of what I'm looking at.
So, Jason, when you airbrush the OneStep, do you treat it the same way you treat our normal paints? Do you have any tips for that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that'll look good. May not be... Oh, that's so good, though.
Frigid said, hey, Monument and chat, painted an entire 11-unit kill team this weekend. Oh, with OneStep. Nice, Frigid.
How'd it go?
You knocked it out. Said, made the process so easy and smooth.
Nice. Yeah, so let's do it with Dark Warm Flesh.
Kat Kaniska, what's going on?
No thinning, just in the airbrush. Anybody got time to thin?
Emperor's Children.
Purple.
There are many.
Purple.
Oh, you could do purple. You could do Emperor's Children. Are they like royal purple?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, that's actually pretty
that.
good.
Do that, Jason.
You want to do that?
Yeah,
All right, Emperor's Children.
Would you still use
I'm still using Dark Warm Flesh, believe it or not.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Do the same thing.
All right.
That'll be fun. Let's do that. Yeah, great choice. I never thought about that because I hate Emperor's Children. But...
Jesse Miller. Great call out for Emperor's Children. Get some purple.
Yeah, I hate Emperor's Children, but this will be a lot of fun. Okay. So let's just highlight him this way.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much, Frigid, for that sub, by the way.
So at first, just a light dusting of color from my chosen angle, which is the 2 o'clock angle, right? And I'll just keep the airbrush at the same angle the whole time and hit the areas of the model I can actually see from here, which isn't a whole lot. Right? And I'll build color up around the tops. Dark Warm Flesh is a cool color because it's yellowish, but not so yellow that it takes over. This is going to give us a good value, meaning brightness on the model, right? But keep that value in a color, as you can see.
Yeah.
That's pretty, when you do it just like that, you're going to have a real stark contrast.
Yeah.
We don't quite want that, so we're going to have to cheat some stuff because he's got this huge torso that's not going to let us get a lot of color down on the legs. So I'm going to go ahead and turn him like this. Same thing, keep the brush from our 2 o'clock angle, but now I can get the panels on the back. All the stuff I can't get from the other angle here.
Royal purple over this is going to be great.
Yeah.
That's a great
I think it's a good call. I want to make sure I get enough dusting on everything because these colors are not going to give us a whole lot of oomph where they don't have the bright colors sitting. It doesn't mean you need to amplify everything, but you're going to need to do some work, kind of cheat some color in. And we will dry brush this guy too, so that'll help a lot. I've got the airbrush back about 10 inches. This will help me just get a slight feathering of color on some of these areas here.
I wonder what the purple will do over this color.
Look good.
Oh, it's going to look good.
It look really good.
What's this color again for November? Asking?
This is dark warm flesh.
Dark warm flesh.
You're asking about what I'm spraying right now?
Yeah.
Dark warm flesh.
Dark warm flesh, November.
I like that.
That's a great model for this example, for sure.
Yeah, that's why I grabbed it. I figured this would give us the best, or one of the best looks whenever you can do something big like a vehicle.
Yeah.
You really get a feel for what you can do. And you wouldn't normally use a paint like OneStep on your vehicles.
Just because, why not?
Well, because on the brush it doesn't act right. Right? Because you have big flat areas. These paints are meant to go over stuff that has detail to grab the paint, much like a wash.
Yeah.
The same problem you have doing an all-over wash on a vehicle, right? Unless it's maybe you have a tank that has a tremendous amount of, doohickeys and rivets and things like that. Yeah, it's a neat color. Pseudo yellow.
Jesse A., he uses 22 PSI at all times.
Yeah.
And doesn't thin, like he's not thinning it right now, correct, Jason?
No, no thinning at all. This is just straight out of our bottle with Prochrome. that's pretty good. Boom. Now I have a good zenithal on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Notice how I kept a little bit of shading on the top shoulder panels, even though they're up towards the light. That just gives some dimension to them, shows off the curve, right? So I went bright to dark on those panels too.
Yeah.
You might find yourself when doing a zenithal that if you aim at a panel, it would cover the whole panel equally.
Okay.
But I forced it to give it a gradient so that it brings some interest to the panel. Otherwise, you'll lose the ability to have the shading on there. Right? Because we're not painting this the normal way. We need the shading to come from this base coat.
Yeah.
Right?
Frigid, thank you so much for those gifted subs.
Hey, Frigid.
Now, Stan says that's it, Jason. I feel you volunteered to paint a fell blade with OneStep. Maybe.
Bring it. I'll do anything. Yep.
Why not?
For sure. If you can do it, and this is why I'm showing this off. You have the ability to do some really, really, really bitchin' stuff with this. We're going to do another bright layer of pale yellow over this.
Okay.
Real quick.
Another zenithal through the airbrush?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because this is kind of like a mid-tone. Again, you want to set up your base contrast really nicely. And this is a more advanced way to do this. You could just do this with white and black.
Yeah.
Like they're used to doing a zenithal. You get great results.
Kinda
But
fun
I'm
to
showing
do
you how
it
you
with
can do it
color.
with chromatics, because the purple, right?
Yeah.
Doing the yellows underneath the purple is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I like it with color. That'll be fun.
Careful, because I got wet paint over everything here. Pale yellow. Oh. Bright pale yellow. Bright pale yellow. Again, you can choose to thin this if you're not comfortable painting with unthinned paints. You can thin with just water or however you like to thin it. Doesn't matter. This back in. And then wherever I have the bulk of buildup with my dark warm flesh, I'm just going to hit that area a little bit.
Was this how you did the red capes, Jason? Says Lap?
Yep. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The red for the Conquest minis. Exactly the same way I did those. Right. So just enough of the brightness at the top areas. You don't want to go too much or you lose that dark warm flesh.
Yeah.
Right? So you can go and layer it on there. Pull the brush back. Work in this area so it feathers a little bit more.
That pale yellow makes it pop. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Get back in about 2 inches away. Start setting up a little bit of a highlight on there. A little bit right in the just the top areas. Get closer in if you want smaller areas of pinpoint color. Like on the head, get in about a ½ an inch away.
Deep Stuffin says, I've been painting for a few years, and I find that some paints almost over thin on a wet palette. How do yours do on a wet palette, or would you recommend using them right out of the bottle?
I always recommend trying your paints right out of the bottle, because that's going to mean that you've always got them at their full opacity, because a lot of times what we're doing in our hobby is figuring out how to get paints to work when thinned down. right? I'm going to hit a little bit, if I can, right in here. It's a little tricky. I don't use a wet palette, but a lot of people do to great effect. So it really just depends on what you like doing, right?
Baby J loves a wet palette, but it's not soaking. Not soaking wet.
Yeah, the key to a wet palette is to just make sure that you are not over wetting it, and you'll be fine. Because you can very easily get too much moisture on them.
November, he uses palette paper when he's traveling. The Gray Matters palette paper works. That's what he uses.
Yep.
Lumberjack, he's letting the basing dry for the Star Wars Legion right now.
Yeah, I did all the basing right before stream.
Joshua returns says, "Hi there. How does OneStep work? I just got here." Welcome in.
Well, you're about to see with an airbrush, but it is our answer to the need for things like contrast paint. But we think we have something new and unique that allows you to get a much better look, much quicker and easier. And so we've been showing it off. It will release at our Adepticon booth in pre-release form here in, geez, a week. Oh my God. Christopher.
What's that?
What is going on?
What? I'm sorry. What'd you say? Adepticon?
It's only like a week away before we're at Adepticon.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
I don't know, but it feels good. I'm very excited. I'm getting hyped now.
Good.
Which is nice. I'm getting into the place where I think everybody is getting hyped to try OneStep and be there at the... And now that app is going on, everybody's probably seeing the size of our booth. Somebody just mentioned that a little bit ago. So we're excited to see what models you guys bring, for you guys to see the new paints, to do all the demos and the feedback. It's going to be a big one. We're right at the front door.
Yep.
Remember, there's another part of the hall besides just us. But you can hang out. It's going to be great. You can see the schedule live right now over on our socials as well. We posted all that up last week, so go check that out. Mark down your times. Come see us. Come say hi. Bring your models, get some feedback. Bring some pictures if you don't have a physical model. It's going to be a fun time.
I like that. I like that. So again, a little bit more advanced zenithal, because you're going to have to be a little bit more proficient with working in close with your airbrush. But pretty easy once you get the swing of it.
Coyote, you're going to have to let us know what scheme you're looking for. I don't know what the new Eldar model Corsair miniatures are. What color is that?
Don't know.
You'll have to let us know the color scheme.
Person.
Oh, what would be a good blue-green armor workup, Jason?
So I like starting with like Dark Sea Ben as a shadow would be great, but Payne's Gray would work great too. You know, something in that blue-black range. And then coming out of Dark Sea Ben, our Jades are fantastic blue-greens. Now, if what you mean is green-blue, you want something that's a little bit more bluish, right? Then, you know, you could move over into like the, probably into like dark turquoise. I still think I'd start with dark jade into dark turquoise if you want more blue. But real easy to just stay in the jades and be done. Dark jade, jade, bright jade. They are not the same color, right? And that weirds people when I say that, but when I made dark jade and bright jade, the colors are not just jade with black and jade with white to make the shade and the highlight. They have different tonal qualities to them, so they work really, really well as a triad. And not just duplicating colors. So, lots of good stuff there in that blue-green realm.
What other like colored highlights do you like doing, Jason? Like this.
Colored highlights?
Yeah. What's the term? Like chromatic highlights?
Chromatic highlights, yeah. Chromatic underpainting.
Yeah.
When you do underpainting, think in terms of what the color you're putting on top is, right? And this is really where the temperature of colors comes into play.
Okay.
If you put a warm color as your base coat, right, as your underpaint, then it's going to warm up the color you put on top of it, assuming that you're painting in glazes and very thin applications, filters, basically, right? Cool colors will cool the color off that you're putting on. So you can imagine if I did pale blue under purple, it would start to bring out more of the bluish nature of the purple because you would start getting the cool undertones, right? Doing the yellows is going to accentuate the red or the warmer portion of purple and make it warmer, bring out that kind of reddish feel to it. So that's the biggest thing, right? That's why we paint with like blues in the shadows, purples in the shadows. Even though purple has a warm component in red and a cool component in blue, being able to put it in the shadows, people will recognize it more for the blue, assuming you're not using like royal purple. But even royal purple in the shadows works pretty well. You've seen me do that to great effect. So yeah, that's it, right? You can underpaint with any color you'd like. If you'd like to underpaint with greens, greens can be either warm or cool and work really well with reds because they create brownish undertones. So there's just so much you can do. It depends on what you're looking for and really what the base color of the model is, right? So if you tell me you're painting Imperial Fists,
yeah,
then I tend to think that, okay, well, I like base tones that are in the warmer tones of browns, oranges, things like that for Imperial Fists. But, you know me, I mean, dark purple works a champ too, so.
Belcor says, do you have a good recipe for Bad Guys non-metallic gold? I'm testing out the recipes for Chaos Space Marine Bad Guys. Ooh.
Well, I guess I have to understand why it isn't just gold. You want it really tarnished, like darker?
I want it bad guy gold, Jason.
Well, then the dark green brown, right? Dark orange brown, basically the flame on set. And just don't use too much of the yellows, right? Because then you get that bronzy, beat up coloring really, really easy. But stay in that brown and dark orange realm as you're building up your shadows and midtones, and you're really good. Greens, you know, I like the greens.
Yep.
I mean, it's, where's my, hang on, I'll grab my Horus.
Bad guy gold.
Bad guy gold.
Bad guys and good guys wear the same gold. Sometimes.
First off, you have to get where my brain goes, is that gold is an absolute horrid thing to use on combat armor because it's super soft metal. So it's always bronze or something that I'm thinking. So it's less of a, you know, less of a 24 karat gold, you know, look.
He's a little dusty.
Right.
Ooh, that model looks great though.
So stuff like this, I think, is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and this was all like dark. It's probably black brown as a base, dark golden brown, you know, yellow ochres, pale yellow. And you get a great looking way to do that bronzy gold that's very tarnished and dirty. Right? And even though there's not any real big swaths of color on him doing that, it gets the point across.
Nice. Derpstick says, have you ever painted 40K era Dark Angels, Jason?
Yeah. My 40K Dark Angels, I paint like my 30K. I make a hybrid of black green.
Oh man, if you
that
guys
makes
like
it to where
that.
I can paint them all, right?
Yeah, our dark green. You guys are gonna love that if you're 40K.
This is black green and faded green, two colors, black green and faded green. Mix the faded green into the black green to do the midtones, and then the faded green highlight, and then a filter of transparent black and transparent green mixed over the top.
Hmm.
More transparent black mixed with it. And it just gives a really neat color. It gives that really dark, forest green kind of a color.
Yeah.
That I like. But I did this on my 30K, and if I did 40K, then I would do the same color on them.
Yay Cat says, Chris, I petitioned Jason to write a book detailing all of his lessons. When are you writing a book, Jason?
As soon as somebody comes and is my editor for free.
Jen, help us.
She's not going to be the editor, I don't think.
Jen's too busy editing my book.
Yes.
Basic
that's what
business.
you've said. Basic business. Or so you've said. Or so you've said, Christopher.
It's my retirement plan.
That's what he keeps telling us. But he won't let anybody read it, so.
It's not done.
Well, then finish it. How dare you?
Wow.
It's the tone. I know.
I didn't say it.
It's the tone.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
It's
now,
the tone.
I am very excited because this whole, not this whole weekend, last night, I sat down and what are you dry brushing here, Jason?
The bright pale yellow.
That's what I used on, so I did the purple, the dark purple primer. Then I did red oxide primer. Then I did taupe primer, right? It's like a zenithal kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did this over some goblins for Middle Earth strategy game.
Okay.
And I was messing around with OneStep, and I came up with a really cool recipe, and I think you guys are gonna like it.
Very cool. Yeah, the thing here with doing the dry brush first is this is what gets you contrast on your edges. So, you're not looking to do really, really heavy dry brush. You just want to catch the edges of the area. And on something like this, it's probably smart if I try to keep it localized to the parts I want purple,
Yeah.
since we're doing Emperor's Children. But I'm using a very loose brush stroke and just getting it on the whole model. So, shame on me.
I suppose.
Right, but even on the dark side, it's going to pull out the rivets and such.
Yeah.
And a little bit, remember, always in the same direction, so only on the downstroke, right? And that's going to give it a little bit of a weathered look across these big flat panels too.
Yeah. Laps says,
most of this will be metal, but we'll go ahead and hit it anyway.
I suppose OneStep can't help much for non-metallic metal, right?
I mean, sure it can. You can set up all your base coats and midtones and have really good, cheap in terms of effort, non-metallic metal.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what I just did. Popping close.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what I just did just by dry brushing on the gun. You can imagine a filter over that and then a highlight for your shine, and your metal would be done. That's why I'm going to go ahead and hit all of the inner gear working and stuff like that on this that I can.
There we go. But OneStep work, like the glazing you've done when you did the underpainting Antonio LT Gray's face.
Yeah.
Could you do underpainting like that and then just go over it with shadow flesh?
Yep.
Essentially,
100%.
that's kind of what I do with my goblins.
Couple of coats of shadow flesh, OneStep will make. That's one of the things that I'm most excited about. Is it will make underpainting for skin super easy. I think really what you're going to want though is the OneStep medium.
Yeah.
Mixed with like dark flesh.
Oh, okay.
Right. You're going to want darker colors. Right, because shadow flesh itself is still fairly light when you have the underpainting done like that.
Yeah.
So probably want to hit it with something like dark flesh and the OneStep medium, which I think people are going to be so stoked for the OneStep medium. Grant, one of our sales guys, he was our community manager for a long time. Messaged me over the weekend saying that he was using OneStep with all these different colors and he was blown away.
Yeah.
So we gave the staff free sets at the end of the week last week. And some of them went home and immediately got to work painting with it and having a good time. So that was really cool to see.
Yep.
right? So again, just light dry brush, bringing out details like rivets. Because when you're painting like this, the more of the details you can bring out at the beginning, the better off you are for how the paint applies, and less work you have to do after you got color on it, which may seem, like, well, that you're complicating the initial steps to make the final steps easier. But for me, at least, the final steps are the steps that take all of my effort. If I'm painting an army, it's the detail steps that bog me down the most. And so if I can simply do something like a dry brush on a big beast like this and have a lot of my work done for me, I'm all for it.
Kenneth the Red says, I'm going to be starting my own Star Wars Legion Galactic Republic army.
Cool.
For the clones, would you recommend priming with taupe, dark neutral gray, or stick with black for clones?
Do you want them to be kind of dirty-ish? Because I think that the taupe could be really cool underneath, doing the dirty style white. Could be really neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, the reality is I've just shown you how to paint a model.
Well,
you could literally just paint the metallic bits on this guy if you wanted a desert sand flavored
I mean, this looks like a great paint job to me.
heresy thing. Yeah, I was like, sometimes you stop yourself and you're like, yeah, in the pre-setup for this model, I'm kind of done if this was the way. I mean, this is a really quick way to paint vehicles, what I'm showing you. If you can do your panel highlights like we do them, and then come back in and dry brush real quick to grab details, then yeah, you can paint for damn near any game very fast.
I think the purple over this is going to come out so well just right out the gate.
Well,
it's
yeah,
going to be
hard.
so
It's
bright.
hard to tell you. Keep your eyes on the ball because this is going to not look anything
like this at
like
all.
what we got going on right now.
But it's going to look so good.
Yeah. All right, cool. I just want to get just enough dusting on stuff so I have at least a little bit of detail everywhere. Even in these dark areas down here, it doesn't matter.
These big stompy robots are really lend themselves to this technique.
They have a lot of detail. GW, you got to give a ton of credit to. Whether you like them as a company or not, they make the best plastic models in the world as far as like really, really cool.
I mean, heck, this looks
simple
great already.
Yeah, because even though, I mean, this guy is more complicated to build than just a Space Marine, but is still not that complicated given, that you could build, 1/35th scale tanks all day long and lose your mind putting tracks together. Boom. I like it. Yeah. All right. So there we go.
Hugh Loon says, if I wanted the purple to be a cooler final result, what would you change?
A cooler?
Yeah, cooler.
I would do all of what I'm doing here, but I would probably do it in like gray blues. Gray blues or just grays. You can put it over grays. The grays, if you're not careful, the grays will desaturate the color you put over the top of them, right? Neutral colors like black, white, and gray will desaturate the color you put over the top. So, gray blue.
Yeah.
You might even start with the shadow tone, and instead of black, you could do Payne's gray. And then you could move into your first color being gray blue instead of the dark warm flesh, and then white blue instead of the bright pale yellow. And you would get this in cool tones. It would be the exact same, right?
Yeah.
Except we've used black. And I mean, you can see that by setting this up this way, because one of the things you have to realize when you're using the OneStep paints, they are just a filter when you put them through the airbrush. They're not going to run on the model like a wash. When you airbrush a wash, it doesn't drip into the low spots anymore. It stops doing the wash part. It just does a really cool filter. So it allows all these things we've just built up on the model to show through. All these edge highlights, everything will show through really nicely, but you have to do them first. So you have to flip your painting progression on its head. You would normally just do your base coats, then your midtones, then your highlights, and then edges. Now you're doing your base coat, your midtones, your highlights, and your edges, and then you're putting the color down. So all of your base, midtone, highlight, edges is all just for brightness and for whether or not you want to warm up or cool down the color you're putting over the top. Okay?
Yeah.
So we've got good shadows. Right, you can see it, tell where the purple is going to be darker, where it's going to be it's kind of good mid-toned warmth, and then it's brightness on the top. But because we use the yellow, hopefully our brightness is not going to cool off. We're going to keep a warm, because we have a royal purple. That's our first purple in OneStep. Right, so this is a pretty good deal. I like it.
Kenneth says, to answer, I usually like to paint with a clean look, but I thought about how that taupe looks and thought it would be a good look for the battle force.
Yep.
So I wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah, I think taupe is great because taupe is a dirty undercolor.
Yeah.
And if you're planning on doing them with, are you planning on doing them with OneStep? Are you waiting? Are you getting prepped for OneStep to come out?
Maybe.
Because the OneStep medium with something like khaki or something like the caramel browns or the green browns is really, really cool for making it super dirty. Right? And then you could dry brush your brighter color over the top, like a gray or something, to bring back the whites. I don't know how textured you want them, but.
And it says, yeah, waiting for the OneStep.
All
yeah,
right.
That's cool.
Here we go.
All right. So.
Poiple.
Walk us through this, Jason.
It's super easy.
Just purple.
It's just purple. I'm going to thin it a bit.
Oh, you are going to thin it?
Yeah, I think I'll thin it a bit.
Okay.
Just because, like I said, always err on the side of too thin so that you can layer colors up. Because you never know what you're going to get when you're painting this way as far as cool things happening. So you know you're going to get the color, right? Hopefully you already know and understand what royal purple over these, dark warm flesh and all that is going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and put quite a bit in there. Right? And even though I've never done this combo, I know what these colors are going to look like together. But I want to thin it because, as you know, these colors are fairly intense just straight out of the bottle. I'm just going to use a OneStep medium. You could use water.
Awkward Panda.
Hey, Awkward.
Happy National Panda Day. Oh.
So this is going to make for a very diluted version of it, but it still has a lot of color. See that? So it's still going to be a fantastic filter, but it is diluted. So it'll be more see-through than it even is right out of the bottle, which means I'll be able to layer it up. Let's show you what this would look like. The way it's thinned down here, right? Just off the brush is still really intense. See?
Yeah.
So I've thinned it, but I'm still going to get a lot of intensity out of it. It's just going to show more of my base coat through. So I really want to have the ability to play with the yellowish colors that we put on here and see what they do to that. Right, so you can see that's still very intense.
You mean like outdoors?
Intense. I see what you were trying to do there. And the answer, my friend, is no.
Like when we go camping.
That's not at all what I was talking about. But thanks. Except we don't go camping because you never invite me. Chasing a water droplet around the table.
I'll invite you the next time we go camping. I haven't been in 2 years.
I would love that, only because Jen hates camping. And I love camping, so.
Jen, you don't like camping?
She hates camping. Unless she can glamp, not happening.
Yeah, and we'll have so much fun if you
All right, folks, here we go.
Here we go. Oh. Nice. Dang. All right. Everybody calm down. Nice. Looks great.
Oh, that's too good.
Yummy. We'll have to show this to Gabe. He's got some Emperor's Children. Nice.
Too good. Pop in close.
Yeah.
See how the pale yellow, look at that purple up there. Then look as it drops over the dark warm flesh.
Yeah.
And then into the shadows. We get that kind of warmish yellow. It almost gives like an iridescence to it. And this is just coat 1, just very thin. Barely putting any material on the model at all.
Yeah.
Right? And not really holding it on the area. Just get one good solid coat that's pretty even.
Well, that's purple, all right, mister. Look at that.
This is very much like what you would get painting with inks, except you're going to get a matte finish. You're not going to get all the finicky nature of inks going on. But look at that vibrancy just straight out of the gates.
Earl Teddy's got a great segue question, Jason. If you don't get all the behavior of OneStep when airbrushing, what's the advantage of it versus a thin regular paint or transparent paint?
Well, because you didn't have to do anything to this. This just works. So it gives you the ability to use it this way without having to finick with it. You already know it's going to let you see everything through it. Whereas you can layer on your opaque paints, your normal pearl colors, and you could wind up not thinning it correctly, getting too much of a intrusion of color where you didn't want it, things like that. This takes all the thought out of it. Again, remember, from the ease of use, there are a tremendous amount of people that love using inks. So we made the transparent color so that you didn't have to worry about using inks and all the troubles they cause because they re-wet, they have all sorts of problems. So instead of doing that, just use transparent. Now, this is just another step that you can take, right? No pun intended, towards making that even easier. Because all I had to do was throw a little bit of medium in there, and I didn't have to, right? I could have just attacked this the way it was, straight out of the bottle. Not worry about it too much. And you don't have to worry about how thin does it need to be. How do you thin your paints? It's one of the most common asked questions in our industry. How do I know when I've got the right thinness? How thin is too thin? Right? This, it just works.
Earl Teddy says, so nice. It's already perfectly calibrated for a glaze-like use. Yeah.
You got it. Right? Because that's what it's intended for anyway. Now it just lets you do that even with the airbrush, where I'm not having to even think, other than not wanting to overload color. I'm wanting to play around and see what I can get when I layer it up a couple of times. I'm just doing this thin layer first.
Are those coils up on his shoulders?
Yeah, metal things, I don't know. I don't know what those are.
Yeah. I don't know what those
They're
are.
metal things.
Like
I don't know.
Diblets,
I don't know.
doohickeys, achechapes.
That's not a word.
I might be. What's your recommended airbrush starter set, Jason?
Lately, my recommended starter set has been the Masters.
With the air
cheap
compressor?
Masters with the compressor and all that. It's like $150 on Amazon. That's what I got for the house, just because I wasn't looking to spend a lot of money when we did the home studio.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I first airbrushed on the stream at home, I think people probably laughed at me just because it was like, oh, you know, that worked really, really well. I was blown away. I was like, oh. I kept coming back and saying, this is really good. And it's been working really well. You know, Jen used it yesterday to primer models and didn't have any problem with it. So I don't have any problem recommending the Masters stuff after having used it now for a while. That's just one thin layer of it through the airbrush. Pop in super close.
Yeah.
So everybody can see the texture or lack thereof. It sprays super, super smooth and maintains that matte finish.
Yeah.
But we get all of the brightness where we had it. Everything. I really like that. I don't know that I need another coat, to be honest with you.
It's a nice light purple.
We go in the shadows a little bit, hit it with a little bit more.
Craig's Toddlich says, which one? Masters with the air compressor at all $150?
Yep.
Craig's, what's going on? It's pretty good.
Yeah, I got compressor, brush, hose. Mine didn't come with any of their crappy paint, so I didn't go that far. But yeah, everything else. Compressor's been great. Brush has been absolutely better than I would think it would ever had the right to be honest with you. So little dusting, like I said, a little bit more in the shadows. This stuff feathers way too easy. I should charge more for it if you use it out of the airbrush.
How could we apply that, Jason? How does that work?
It knows when you use it.
Every spurt we get a penny?
Airbrush.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
Spurt, 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 spurt.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Meg M says, how many colors will be in the OneStep line?
We don't have a definitive on that yet. I was telling people this morning that, you know, my whole thought on that is because we're not a company that believes in Kickstarters and such, it allows us to kind of play and see what the community wants, how the community responds. Do people really love it? Does it absolutely take over all of our sales? So I'm not going to limit it. Right now, we're thinking in the realm of like 36 to 42. Wow, it's just too good. That's really good. I think we dry brushed this real quick with pale pink.
Over?
And I think you're done.
Over the purple, huh?
Yeah, I think you're done.
Oh.
Right? You get this really neat warm streak where the warm flesh comes through and it kind of gives you an orangey feel to it. Do you see that? So it's kind of that iridescence. That's too good.
Yeah.
That is hours and hours worth of blend work had you not done it this way.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, we were just painting, which I am. We were just, painting very easily with the base coats that we used.
Yeah.
And so now that's been able to turn this into something that would have taken, like I said, hours, literal hours worth of filtering over the top to get this kind of effect. So, yeah, that's just too simple. That's silly.
Heck, you could just do this to your whole army to get it started.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the time we did this guy, we could have done squads and squads.
Yeah. I guess the same thing would apply to just basic Space Marines, too.
Yeah. Oh,
you could do.
Yeah. Nothing that you've seen me do here is particular to vehicles. You can do this to your entire army. Too simple.
No, there's not a lot of him using OneStep on Blood Angels, Brian Scurvy.
I haven't done any Blood Angels with it. The red that I have is a crimson in the first set, so it's this red.
Oh, yep. That's crimson.
Right? This is crimson. So a little bit more like a blood red. It would be great for World Eaters.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to do World Eaters out of this first set, oh boy, are you going to be happy.
Well, dark green too for 40k, Dark Angels.
The dark green for Dark Angels, the crimson for World Eaters is just going to set your world on fire if that's what you're looking to do. We already have people that are like, well, I guess I'm buying Dark Angels as soon as you release that one video, or not the video, the image of the dark green. Had a lot of comments that were like, well,
there it goes.
guess that decided that. I'm buying Dark Angels.
And Jeff, yes, these are our answer to the traditional contrast and speed paints out there that you know.
Yeah, I'm taking an entire army to Adepticon that is only painted with a single coat of OneStep on it. That's it.
Oh, Coco, he actually did a really cool green for goblins and orcs.
Oh, so good.
The GW announced those made to order, those old classic orcs.
Yeah.
I really like those, and I'm like, dang, those would be cool with Jason's green step that he made.
Yeah, and that was just done out of the warm yellow and
dark
the
green,
green,
right?
And the dark green. Yeah. But because the medium is so fantastic, right? People have said multiple times that if the medium actually turns the rest of the colors in the line into OneStep paints, that they will never use anything else. And I'm like, well, be prepared to be amazed, because it turns all the regular colors into OneStep. Just absolutely crazy. So that cleaned up too easy too. This stuff cleans up super fast in the airbrush. Let me grab some of those Star Wars models. What'd you put? They're over here on the.
What did you like?
No, it's just the fine gray.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I should fine gray because I'm just going to dry brush it and do the bases in OneStep too.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to dry brush them in probably like, dark warm flesh like what I just did, or bright neutral gray. And then I'm just going to put either the brown or the dark green brown on it for earthen tones. This is what he's talking about.
Up in. Yep.
Right.
There it is right there.
Sorry, this green tape is not helping. But,
it's almost exactly like the green tape.
but all that is one coat of OneStep on everything. It's a zenithal model with dark purple and taupe. And that's all we've done with this whole army. So everything is one coat only of OneStep. Well, I say that. This guy had a coat of yellow and then a coat of crimson to get that color. But they're both just OneStep. So I've used them as like base coats and top coats for each other so that you can get different colors. I've got one here where we did the blue with then purple over it. Was that?
Yeah.
No, it was this one. Right. So he's blue and then purple over the blue to give a really cool
Nice
multi-tone to the skin. That worked really well. So there's some places where we've tried some cool things, just using multiple colors, but that's all this army is. Will just be a complete army of rebels that are done in a single coat of OneStep.
Nice.
That's all it is.
Ooh, Gotham Dan, first time chat, welcome in. What's the biggest difference from the OneStep and the transparent colors?
They're different paints. There is no one difference. It's a totally different paint. Transparent paints are just acrylic paints. That's it. You can just see through them because they're single pigment paints, and the single pigments are typically more see-through, translucent. Look at our expert acrylic line. Most of those are semi-transparent, transparent, like Nicolazzo yellow, things like that. So that's what you get when you use pure pigment, single pigment colors. They're more see-through. There's very few pigments that are opaque. Titanium white, black iron oxide, carbon black, right? There are certain pigments that are more opaque. But that's what the transparents are. The transparents are basically the expert acrylics in liquid form. So they just give you a transparent paint, but it stays where you put it. They don't turn into washes. They're not washes. They don't act like washes until you change them into washes by mixing them with our medium, right? So right out of the bottle, just paint you can see through. So you can thin them down, use them as filters. They work great for adding into other colors, for turning metallics into colors. They are just a fantastic base to blend from and to color from that give you exaggerated vibrancy and coloration because of the amount of pigment in them. They're fantastic for what they are. They're more like painting with inks, okay? OneStep is like, imagine transparents, washes, and magic. That's what it is, right? They're low opacity colors with high vibrancy and lots of pigment in them that act like a wash and flow into recesses. And where they do, they actually leave a gradient to where they're brighter at the top and darker in the shadows, right? So they give all of that initial base coat stuff that you want and work like a champ. So that's it. That's what they are. But that is totally different than anything else we make. Now, you're starting to find out that when you look across a line and you say, oh, but you guys make transparent paints. Yes, That's a paint with a low opacity. These also have a low opacity. So do washes. Now you're starting to see what we talk about all the time, which is filtering. Color requires the color you're filtering with to have a lower opacity. Washes are a filter. Transparents can be a filter. And the OneStep are a filter, right? Now, how does the filter work when you put it on the model? Washes drag, with their chemical properties, they drag the pigment into the low spots via gravity. So they run over the surface like it's slicker, right? And they pile pigment up in the low spots to create shades, right? So you're usually using darker washes. Bright washes don't work very well. Darker washes work great because they put shadows on your model and they don't leave a whole lot of color in the high spot. They start building up color as they go towards the bottom. So if you put our black wash on top of something, it'll be a little grayish on the highlights, and then it'll get to where it's black in the shadows, right? But not much coloration on the model. It'll just make it look dirtier, right? OneStep is like a wash, right? Except it has the vibrancy of a transparent, and it leaves color on every surface it touches, right? The color just gets more intense as it goes into the recesses like a wash does. But it is already very vibrant. I mean, like the purple we just put on this hammer, right? Zoom in close. Right before we airbrushed, we put the same airbrush concoction on here, right? And it just went into all the recesses on there, and it gives you the shading, but it stained every surface, right? And so there is no surface that is left without the exaggeration of bright purple on there. It just is brighter where you had more white and darker where you had more black. Or darker in the recesses where the pigment can pill up. So that's the difference between these three types of filters and why and when you would use them in different locations. Now, the transparent are the one that kind of bridge a gap because you can mix them with the glazed wash medium, turn them into a wash, mix them with the OneStep and turn them into OneStep colors, and they then just become more flexible colors to use however you want. But they also work well with mixing with the metallics, mixing with other colors to boost their vibrancy, painting with them by themselves. They are just a tremendous resource on their own that is more flexible. Whereas the OneStep colors are meant to be OneStep colors, and then they do really great stuff through the airbrush, right? The washes are meant to be washes, and then you can play around with them and turn them into glazes too. But they're more for that purpose, and then you can get flexible and creative with how you use them, and they need to mix with other things. Like the washes don't mix as great with other colors because they're a wash and they're meant to be a wash. OneStep mixes great with everything, so you can start turning it into an opaque color. You can make other colors OneStep colors, things like that. So gives you a lot of flexibility. That's just too easy, Chris.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm just noticing, like, you could just do that, what you did with that underpainting for everything, right? You could just make that, you could find something that you really like and then just stick with it, especially like doing your zenithal, your chromatic highlights or whatever underneath. Yep. That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, you could try this with magentas and pinks.
Yeah, you could try something else.
And it would turn it different. It would get rid of the kind of orangish midtones that I'm seeing here and turn them into just probably, more magenta.
Yeah.
Right? So you'd pull from that. You could do the blues, like someone was mentioning, and you'd pull it into being a cooler purple. So sky's the limit. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff with these colors. I'm trying to think. Oh, I already cleaned the airbrush, didn't I? I was going to say we could spray some more on other color base coats that I have around here, but I already cleaned the airbrush.
And so what would be your ideal mix for making our traditional paints OneStep using the special sauce?
Typically, I'm saying 2
to 1.
To 1.
Yeah.
Not much. 3 to 1 I've been using some if I want it thinner, but mostly 2 to 1. The OneStep medium is like a miracle worker. It just does so much with very little paint.
There it is.
And if you're doing it with transparent paints,
yeah,
maybe 1 to 1.
1 to 1 with transparent?
I haven't really done it with the transparents as much, but I would still stick to 2 to 1, but you might find you having to do like 2 coats.
Yes, and we will have sets available during Adepticon in the EU while Adepticon's going on for those who can't make it to Adepticon. If you're in the EU, though, I would go quick. And then you're going over with this bright pale yellow, right?
No, this is pink.
Oh, this is pink.
Pink.
Oh, you just showed that. That was a test.
And you failed.
I passed.
Okay.
You passed.
I passed?
I was a test and you passed.
How are you testing me?
Yes. I have to keep you on your toes.
Okay, gotcha.
This is a great, this is kind of like doing olive flesh over it.
Yeah. Just a very light. I am not applying much pressure with the brush. because I just want to barely get a little bit of halo of streaking on there.
Do you keep a dab of medium on your palette to mix with, or do you just always mix it into small mixing cups?
I just mix in small mixing cups for things that I'm actually generating mixes with. I don't keep mediums on my palette unless I'm doing something, I guess, specific. I can't think of a time where you've seen me do that, though. In 10 years
Like,
of
just
painting
keep-
online, I can't think of a time where I've had a medium on the palette that
you just keep there.
yeah, no, it's not
You
a
just
way
use
that I
it
work
when you need it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, because,
too.
you know, I use a dry palette, and I'm not using it, I'm not painting that way very often. I don't mix a lot of mediums into my work. I'm using mostly water. Yeah, I literally just painted your entire Emperor's Children army for you. This is too simple.
Yeah.
Because I won't do anything else to this purple. Literally won't do anything else to it, and we'll be perfectly fine with it being this way.
Ryan Scurvy says, if you wanted to do a vibrant Blood Angel with special sauce and bold pyro red, would you do that for underpainting? What would you do for underpainting? Heck, you could do this.
Yellows?
This would be a cool underpaint, right?
Yeah, for red?
Yeah.
Yeah, the same coloring would be great for red because
then-
it'll give you the same kind of orangish undertones that it's doing here.
You could do crimson with it, maybe.
I like the bright pale yellow. I'll show you the Conquest models that I did that have the red cloak someone was mentioning earlier, because that was just a super easy way to get the most vibrant red ever. Oh, those I think are supposed to be gold trim, aren't they? Yeah. Well, rip.
Gold trim? What do you mean?
Well, these big things that I painted, it took some time to actually highlight them, and I didn't realize that if I trace the line of rivets, those are actually
it's trim.
those are gold trim. Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. To whom's their we, Jason?
That's not how that works.
To
but-
whom's their twos?
Oh, to hoops their twos is what I was going to say.
To whom's their lees? Kenneth says, in all the times I've done dry brush anything, I've never had it look that good. Oh yeah, it's
This is just very, very, very little paint. This is what I would call the most traditional style of dry brush. Very little paint on the brush, right?
yeah,
Your goal is to
dude.
barely put it across the surface to grab color on there, and you're golden. You're not having to press hard. You don't want to press hard, right? You're just dusting that surface to give it a little bit of texture, a little bit of brightness. Pick up rivets.
You said, Jason, you're an always fun and awesome teacher.
Why, thank you.
He's
I think it's you guys
okay.
that make it happen, because you guys keep it light and ask great questions.
That's right.
I just work here.
You just work here.
I just work here. I don't, I can't be held responsible for how great the content is. I think chat makes that happen. Holy cow, maybe a little along this ridge here. Oh, like that. I mean, holy buckets.
Pretty cool.
I don't have a problem in the world with any of this stuff. I got a little heavy right there.
Look at that.
All right, I'm done. Thanks. That was, what, an hour and 20 minutes? And we get a really nice highlight build up everywhere, you know, from the preset with the airbrushing, right? I just went in and did a little bit of that highlighting with the airbrush, a little bit of it popped back out with the dry brush.
Yep.
And I don't know if I can tell you an easier way to paint your models than what this is going to provide for you. You know, with being able to find a color combo like this that works. If you're painting Emperor's Children there, I just did your whole color scheme for your army. That's just too good.
It came out great. Can you recap what you did here?
Yeah, let me clean my brush off real quick. And I was going to show somebody something. What did they want to see? Somebody wanted to see... Oh, the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This model was gray when we started.
Yeah, we primed it today too, so it didn't even take us like an hour to do that part.
Yeah.
This guy. So this was done by building up the undertones from dark purple, right?
Right.
To our red oxide primer. So dark purple primer, red oxide primer in a zenithal, and then pale yellow over the top. And you're going to be hard pressed to get a better red than that. And that was just thinning the pyro red down with the glazed wash medium, right? And then layering it on there. So this is probably 3 or 4 layers of the red. So the first layer you hit on there over the pale yellow, it becomes hot pink. The second layer, a little less hot pink. The third layer, red. And the fourth layer is just punch, because you can still pick up all the vibrancy of the brightest areas where that pale yellow existed, like on the head. But it won't steal any of the muscle away from your reds. They stay like they are. Whereas if you put it over white, you can't build it up to this punchy of a red. It just saps a little bit of the color away from it. But that yellow keeps it warm. Red over it's red over the pale yellow is hot pink. Red over hot pink is red. And then over that blend of hot pink and red with the red is just this pure red. So if you're doing Blood Angels, I would do them like this. Right? If you just want punchy red, you can see the difference in how my red is a little bit more desaturated on my Blood Angels, even though it's pyro red, right? Because I've used dark plum and Payne's gray as the base coats and stuff. So it gives you a more, I don't know, grimdark red if you want.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to just really punchy reds. I love how these guys turned out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was easy. It was maybe an hour's worth of work. And I did 3 of them like this.
Demaris says, I use that exact workup for my vehicles. The only difference is I generally panel line with an oil/panel liner. Any plans for oils alternative? How do you guys panel line with PA?
I don't like that kind of painting. I think it over exaggerates the panels in a lot of cases, so I don't do it. I find that all of my work, I start with a dark enough base coat that, okay, so here's the reasoning I use in my head is that I start with a dark base coat like black, right? So I use black primer for everything. When I apply my colors on top, I'm doing them at angles so that the areas that are supposed to stay dark because the paint doesn't get where the black is. That's what why I chose to shoot all of my zenithals off of his shoulder here, and you didn't see me hit any of these other areas in a way that would put paint in the black, right? So my panel lines are already very dark. Like zoom in close.
Yeah. Like
I wouldn't need a darker panel line than that. And that's because that's still got the black in it, right? And then the purple layered over the black. If you like that super high contrast, then oils are obviously your best way because you'll always be able to clean them up better than anything acrylic. Even with Noosh, doing them like that, you still have to kind of paint them in. And for me, I just don't have time for that. Yeah, I don't like, now, when I was doing the 35th scale military modeling for decades, it was just something I didn't really like doing. So I just developed a habit of keeping the dark colors in those areas and then going with it, because by the time you're done dry brushing and layering and doing all the other things, you tend to not have those panel lines be as dark. But if you're doing like the scale modelers do, where you're layering an entire coat of bright color, like say desert yellow over an entire tank, and it's going in all the cracks, then it's worth its weight in gold, because you need a way to turn those panel lines back dark. I just don't paint that way. When we paint tanks, I do what is called panel highlighting. So I start with dark colors, right? Like in this case, I think it was black brown on this guy, right? And then with the dark colors, then I go back and keep my highlight when I airbrush to outside or inside the panels and away from the lines. So the lines remain dark, and I build up brightness in the middle of the panel. And then when I go back, I can go back in and I can paint in a little bit. We took Noosh and painted it in the panel lines here and darkened them up, which looks good, you know, but they're still fairly recognizable even on this side. So you can still kind of pick and choose your battles. If you like the super high contrast, oily look, you can still do it with acrylics, right? I just, I don't touch it and let it flow along a panel because I don't do a whole lot of that where it matters. So, but I still get fantastic look out of acrylics, never ever doing panel lining.
Zilfer says, what would you edge highlight that is what would you edge highlights that super vibrant red with if I painted 40K Blood Angels armor with it?
So I mix warm flesh, not dark warm flesh, but warm flesh in with orange red now. And that gives what we call eclectic salmon. And this is a great color, right? Because it's not too orange, not too pink. It really is that salmon color, and it is right in the middle where when you highlight with it, that's what I do all the highlighting with on my Blood Angels.
Pink trout.
And then pale pink for the shine, on hard metal surfaces like these guys. That final little spot of brightness is pale pink.
Jason.
Yes, sir.
When are we getting it?
Huh?
When are we getting eclectic salmon?
Oh, I don't know.
There you go, chat.
Who's asking?
Mo, still waiting.
Then the answer's never.
Lumberjack says still waiting. Ghost Hunter says still waiting.
For those guys, never.
Krabby says, I need it.
Also
when?
Never.
See, the more you guys say that stuff, the more he won't do it. Don't feed the beast. It's coming. Or is it? Oh, who knows? Keep your eyes open.
I mean...
Hooty doopty 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 doo.
Hoopty doopty doo.
Hoobity hobbity doopity doo.
Nobody ever says that.
Pink trout. What else can we call it?
Pink trout.
What else?
I feel like that's really bad.
I don't know if we want to call it pink trout.
I feel like pink trout is not what you want to be calling it.
He must have a large Witzensgruben. I don't know what to tell you guys. I know you're all waiting, so you're going to wait.
Dark blue black.
What are you doing with this, Jason?
Painting. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for asking.
When does it end?
Doesn't. You're stuck here. This is so here's the thing.
This is purgatory.
The twist of this movie. The twist of the movie is that Chris died in a car wreck years ago.
That's awesome.
And what happened is he was sent to this level of hell.
I don't think this isn't a level of hell. I would say this is purgatory. Chat is purgatory. Being inside chat is purgatory.
Whoa. Family show.
Whoa, hey. Yeah.
Let me take his toys away, please. Please.
Speaking of pink trout.
Somebody take his
welcome
toys
in, everybody.
away from him.
We're using some OneStep today. Lots of you in here today. Wanting to see it. Getting hyped for Adepticon. Hey, here's what's going on. I'll give you guys some good information while Jason is doing this beautiful dark blue black workup. We've got so much going on.
This is my favorite color in the OneStep line. Sorry, rest of you colors. Sorry for the rest of the colors.
Jason, they're right there.
This is my favorite color.
Jason, can you do me a huge favor?
No.
Huge favor.
No.
Before you paint those plasma coils, can you go over how you like to do plasma coils?
Well, you know what is going to be fun is I'm going to show you how the OneStep medium and white makes that so easy. Because okay, so somebody mentioned, and I guess one of the things that I was going to talk about, the OneStep medium, along with our colors, if you over thin them, make them, really, really thin viscosity. Mm-hmm. The OneStep medium can turn our colors to where they will do panel lining. So I'll show you how with the white that we can do that with the OneStep medium and white.
I would really like to see a lot of people have asked for a plasma, like that plasma technique, and this model's a good example for that.
It's okay. I mean,
what do you mean? Look at that thing. It's a honking thing on that side. How big that is. That guy's a big boy. I was playing with Shadow Flesh last night for my goblins, and I watered it way, way down, right? Just based off of what Jason said. And
the OneStep?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it came out awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I did your bright pale yellow, like dry brush over those, and I'm like, well, just straight. I tried it in 3 different levels. I tried it straight out of the bottle, then 1-to-1, and then I did 10-to-1. Right? Water, straight up water.
With the OneStep?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I did 10-to-1 water because I just wanted it like a very faint glazing tint, and it came out perfect.
Oh, like over green?
No, it was over a Zenithal dry brush.
Oh, okay. I guess I'd have to see it to understand what
I
you're talking
wanted the goblins to look fleshy, but not too
about.
fleshy.
Oh, you're doing Lord of the Rings goblins.
Yeah, the naked,
yeah,
naked goblins.
Yeah.
Yes, and it came out perfect.
Now it makes sense to me.
You guys, and then I dry brushed all the flesh over it, and I'm like, well, I don't know. This is how I might do my models.
Now I get it.
Because my little thing of dry brushing at the end with these is really good. It's just easy mode for me. And then I used dark green brown for their loincloths, and it came out perfect.
Dark green brown is great. All these colors are spectacular.
Yeah, they're...
I'm trying to convince Vince. You don't say that very often. Trying to convince Vince Venturella that from now on, all of his hobby cheating videos are just use OneStep. Thank you, bye. I'm trying to sell him on the fact that his videos are now much easier to edit. Because he does his hobby cheating videos. And so we're just going to be like, yep, just use OneStep and now you're done.
So would you just use, I guess, you would use OneStep special sauce with Bold Titanium White for plasma?
Yeah, Bold Titanium White.
Nice.
To get the glow going, and then you can use the fluorescence or OneStep colors or transparents thin down or whatever you like to add the color into the light. But the OneStep medium and the white will make it run into the recesses really nicely, because what you're really looking for is a white wash, right? And so that's what OneStep does when you mix it with the Bold Titanium White. It lets it flow over the surfaces, give a lesser intense glow on the tops and a more intense glow in between, which is what you're looking for. Then bingo, Bob is your uncle. Bob is now your uncle.
Ghost Hunter said, convince Vince to do your OneStep hobby cheating video for April 1st. Where are you going on vacation after Adepticon, Jason?
I'm not going anywhere on a vacation after Adepticon.
He says that like he knows.
I am
Fly away.
I'm on April 8th.
Oh.
Going to Nashville with Gabe and Philip.
Oh. If you left for Nashville with Gabe and Philip, all the keys would be let loose. And that's how I'm fired. And for real. One last stream.
I don't understand.
Just go to Nashville. I dare you.
Why do you take this so personally?
I dare you.
I dare you.
I dare you to go to Nashville with them. Why Nashville? I don't even remember that joke. Are you actually going to Nashville?
I am actually going to Nashville.
Okay, that's why I came up. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember you actually had to go there.
I am actually going to Nashville. I have to go to Nashville for the 8th to the 11th. So I think I miss a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday stream.
It's going to be me and Gabe tomorrow, by the way, chat.
Yeah, I'm gone tomorrow. With the same group tomorrow that I'm going to Nashville with.
But we're going to be playing.
Business forum.
We're going to be playing with OneStep tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
Come ready.
These hoodlums are going to be using OneStep?
Me? Heck yeah.
Oh, no.
We're going to see how many goblins I can get going.
Oh, no.
I got them all prepped, got them all ready.
I think it's great. I am, like I said, when Grant contacted me over the weekend, I was like, all right, because he was like, dude, I have been putting this OneStep medium to its test, and holy buckets. He didn't say that. That's my word. But
you're going to, yeah. You guys.
Chat, you guys are not ready. You're watching me do it, and I know everybody always thinks, oh, but, he made it. He knows what he's doing. But what happens when it gets in the hands of real humans? And I'm like, you guys don't even know the half.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys will see. I'll show you what I'm doing tomorrow. We're going to do... It's not going to be a challenge because I'm not going to go quick, but this army has been sitting for a long time, and this is what got me jazzed to just do it. So I'm just going to do it tomorrow. So see how far I get. I have them all prepped. I have them all dry brushed, so you're not going to see the boring part. We're literally just going to put OneStep on there. Just kind of like how Jason's done his Legion. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. I got the basing all done, but then I've decided for my basing, I zenithalled it. We're just going to put graphite gray over the whole base. That's it. And it's just going to be gray bases, and then I'm going to dry brush them at the end. That's all she wrote. Rocco says, what colors would you use to add some weathering / nasty ooze over non-metallic bronze? I know I want a new shit, but I'm torn on the colors.
I like green browns, but you know the regular green browns are probably too. Well, I don't know if they're too dark. It depends on how bright your non-metallic bronze is. But I'm very partial to green browns, right? But realize that bronze, with its copper component, can tarnish to verdigris. So you do have the ability to do like a verdigris type thing going on it with. One of the things that I love so much about this paint is that its viscosity allows it to flow into recesses. So painting areas like this that are normally a real pain after you have the armor done become a lot easier because you just kind of touch the brush, and the same kind of thing that works for panel lining works here. I just touch my brush and it just kind of goes in all the recesses, and I don't have to worry too much about banging around on parts and pieces I don't want to get dirty. Nice. I'm moving around without a whole lot of rhyme or reason here. Just kind of.
For the weathering, I would add rust effect for weathering and use a dark brown and light orange. Yes, on we also have a good short as well on rusty metal. I use that technique all the time.
You just realize bronze doesn't rust. It oxidizes differently than steel.
Tiger says the black OneStep is so good. It's very unique.
It is so good.
It gives, obviously, you can see the tint of blue, but it gives your black some character.
That's the whole point, right? Is that it's not just a gray black.
Yeah.
It's not boring. It has a lot of depth to it with the blue. So yeah, I think you guys are going to really love it. We're also going to do another black that is different. So you'll have lots of choices by the time we're done. I think that set number 2 might get people more jazzed than this one. I will, if everything goes all right, I still...
You guys think set 1 is good?
Yeah. But if everything goes all right, those people that are at Adepticon are going to get a blast because they're also going to get to try out and look at set number 2. They don't get to buy it, but you'll get to see it.
Yep. Late May is when the worldwide release is. And by the end of the year, we're planning on coming out with everything, right, Jason?
Yeah, by the end of the year is my hope.
All the colors by Black Friday?
By Black Friday is my hope, yep.
By Christmas, your Christmas is just going to be amazing.
Yeah, my goal is that we would do we would have the last of them hit Black Friday. But, you know, anything goes. If the world comes together and says, this is the most amazing crap we've ever seen... Then you might get all the colors quicker.
Game Delay says, if set 2 is better, why didn't you do set 2 first?
Well, so there's a reason why we choose the colors we do. I needed these colors to feel like I had a really good starting point for the stuff I wanted to do.
This is an amazing starting point. The other ones are cool, but this is the set one is like your foundation, I would say,
And
right,
he
Jason?
knows better than that. He knows.
Game delay. Are you baiting me right now?
He knows that we know what we're doing.
You just have to wait. They're all good. That's the joke.
That's the thing.
They're all good.
Now
How do you
got
pick?
the punchline?
This farmer said, with OneStep, what happens when you mix the secret sauce, which is actually the special sauce, and a metallic paint?
It turns metallics into OneStep.
We did that a couple days ago, actually,
Yep.
Twisty Farmer. I don't remember which VOD, but it
Works
was
like a
last
champ.
week. You have to
Works
go
like
back
a champ.
and look.
You get metal OneStep. I advise you to try it as soon as you get the medium.
Travel Cedric, I'm sorry you can't make Adepticon. Keep your eye out for late May. That's when these come out. There's going to be enough. Mo says, so you're saying if they're all well received and sell out, you're going to release them all? Yes, this year at some point. That's the idea.
You're not gonna. You can't nail
know what
me
you're trying to
down
do there,
like
Mo.
that, Mo. Like I'm not gonna.
You know what you're trying to do here.
Yeah. See, no.
So what you're saying is if you're well received and sell out, you're going to release them all, right?
Like not in a day. No. Which I feel like that's where the gist of that statement was going.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Is it for some reason you think that if everybody comes up to me and says, "Oh, this is the best thing ever," that all of a sudden you'll get lots more colors like next week? No, that's not how that works. We still have to have production times. And while these have been going very fast, knock wood, our production
out
team
to them,
hammered
yeah.
these out of the park. It was amazing the amount of time saved
Shout out to them.
in filling. Yeah, production
And fulfillment.
really did kill it.
They're knocking it out right now as we speak. We're loading up for Adepticon, folks.
Yeah, because the trucks come and pick everything up on Thursday. Oh, it's so stressful.
Cuban, yes, it has been asked before, but that is okay. We like this question. What is the differentiation between these paints from the other ones, the other speed and contrast paints out there? I do have all 140 out of 145 from your range, so very likely to end up getting them. What's the main difference, Jason?
Well, so the biggest difference is the lack of what I call, well, let's just say that the biggest difference is ours are very consistent in how they lay down on the model. You don't get that buildup of pigment in weird areas. You know, it's kind of like the difference between our washes and other people's washes. Our washes don't give you that big amount of buildup. They give a really nice gradient when you put them on the model. Same with these. One of the biggest problems I had with these types of paints is that they're very oily feeling. And that makes it to where they bunch up pigment on the model in weird spots. And so you know, they look like the old style washes. And while they created some contrast and all of that, they just didn't finish very well. I put the Star Wars stuff back, didn't I? But let me grab, there's a couple of models.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Just... We've been painting with them a lot and showing off really what you're asking, right? Is that without, hopefully you can tell, we do this live. There's no crazy editing. There's no magic, right? It is what it is. Popping close. Go super close. So this is what you get. This is one layer of the paints over a zenithal of dark purple in the shadows and taupe on top. So not even white. It's not even as bright as white that I did the pre-highlight with on these. And look at the amount of detail that you're getting out of The graphite green on the pants is just phenomenal. The dark green brown on all the harness, right? And then we mixed the green and the yellow together to get this flesh tone. And again, the dark green brown filtered down, like thinned down with just water over the bandana, so it wasn't quite as dark. So it just gives you such a smooth finish. Notice how you're just picking up the details. There's not a lot of staining anywhere that makes it look like you made mistakes. It's just nice and smooth. And if you watch back these videos, I'm literally slopping it on. I can't be any more honest with telling you this is just painting it on the way all of you will paint it on. Just a brush load full of paint on the model. I've been not using my thumb palette when I use this paint. I'm putting a lot of material. It's very wet on the model. I'm not drying it off. I'm not glazing in weird ways or doing anything special, right? All of it is just put the paint on the model. And you get really, really smooth, consistent details every single time. Right? They're very vibrant. They give you a lot of color. I think that this is one of the best examples of the brown on Chewy's pack. It's just like, that's just done. Like, that's just the best leather. And that was just from the Zenithal, you know. This is just a quick dry brush over the black blue with white blue over the top of the gun.
It's Chewy.
To give you, somebody who's asking about non-metallic. I mean, that's just as wish.com non-metallic metal as you can get. And that was just the black with a dry brush of white blue over the top. That's it. So that's why. And it's matte. I mean, if you haven't been able to tell, it's matte finish. So you don't get that glossiness to it. You can basically, I am taking these to Adepticon like this. I'm not highlighting anything, although I might give it a little bit of a dry brush on the weapons. Yeah, I know.
No.
That's it.
No. No, Jason. No.
Yes. Yes. That's what I'm doing.
He won't do it.
That's what I'm doing.
There you go. Yes, that was straight graphite graphite green for those pants, correct?
Yeah, just straight graphite green. Yeah, the green on these pants has been fantastic. The graphite green is just such a good color.
I can confidently say I have been really slapping them on, even probably more so than Jason, and I'm getting amazing results.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. But you guys will see tomorrow. I think you'll like it.
My goal with it, again, was that if I can't find a way to use it in my process, why would I sell it to you? And up until now, there hasn't been anything in a formulation of a contrast, speed, insert, I want to paint fast name here, that made it interesting to me, other than I get why they exist. And that's very interesting to me, right? Anything that can make somebody feel more confident in their painting quicker, I'm a fan of. But I don't like the fact that they're not very usable outside of that fast painting mentality. And so we wanted to make a paint that existed outside of that. And that's what I'm showing you today. You can airbrush with them, and they're very, very forgiving in the airbrush. So, they can take your first airbrushing experience and turn it into something really cool. Although, like I said, you are going to need to undercoat and know how to do a zenithal highlight and stuff. So you do need to learn a little bit, but you're already doing that, whether you're slap chopping or whatever you want to call it. You're already painting your models that way, and you could do something big like this the same way and then airbrush over that, dry brushed highlight, just as efficiently as you can with an airbrush version. But if you're already airbrushing.
Can the medium be used as eyedroppers to see the world in a new dimension? Says Big Bob. Potentially.
Who's asking this?
That's Big Bobzilla.
Big Bob, I want you to think hard about the choices you've made in your life. And then I want you to tell us all about your mother. Matter of fact, if I had a third hand, I would reach over and hit Mr. Therapy for us. Because I feel like that's a Mr. Therapy moment if ever there was one. How are you feeling today? Yeah, Big Bob, how are you feeling today? Feeling neglected?
He might be.
I want to put OneStep in an eyedropper. I believe we've hit a home run. I'm hoping that you guys think so too. I can't wait for people to get their hands on them at Adepticon and start trying them out. We'll have a try before you buy set up there. You can see what they're all about. Ask questions. Jordan and I will be piloting that station during the show. You can come talk to us there. And then, of course, we're going to continue to use them on stream. So, can't make it to the shows. Not
That's right.
a problem. No problem. Not a problem. I feel like his toes would be black. I do. Do I? Yeah. I feel like Dreadnought toes should be black. Be interesting putting it over, because I painted them as if they were going to be the purple. With the black over the purple. That'll be kind of neat. Again, I'm not doing anything you can't do. And that's not a joke here. Seriously, just layer the colors on. Keep the paint in the lines. That's all you have to do with OneStep. You don't have to know or do anything else. Just don't get it on things you don't want it on. It's really that simple.
Yeah, I think 90% of people, it's going to be buy then try, says Stan.
Yeah, we've already had a lot.
This is it. I mean, we're doing it here. I think
interest.
you guys just need to get in your hands and start playing with it.
Well, Frigid Phoenix, he's still here? Frigid's been painting with him.
Yep.
Frigid won the first set that we did as a giveaway.
That's right.
And said he's started painting up an entire kill team, I think. And that's going to be the proof in the pudding, right? Is when you guys and gals out there get it and put it to its tests and start seeing it in action on models, telling and looking at what every brushstroke really does for you, because it is something that as soon as you touch the model with the paint, when you have that pre-highlight on it, you just notice immediately, like, holy.
Right.
It's just too easy. That's what I keep saying through this whole thing. And I'm a lazy painter, so I'm definitely a fan of anything that I think makes it easier, but it also has to look really good. It can't just be a cheat that looks lazy.
Yeah.
It has to be able to be manipulated to make better, do whatever you want to it. So yeah, if you just want to use these paints as a base coat to build up off on, build on to, you can. But like I said, undercoating, airbrushing, and then dry brushing. In an hour we did this guy, if you don't count the priming.
That's true.
The fact that I had to prime him first, and that's unheard of.
Cuban OC will two-part question. Will the set you will be selling at Adepticon include a medium? And second question, how much will that be, as if I send money to my friend who will be out there to get it for me?
The set does not include the medium. The medium will be there. The medium is $20 for a 120 ml bottle. The set is $65 for 12 paints. So it will be $85 to get the medium and all 12 paints. If you want the additional color that is at Adepticon, which is rust, that's a limited quantity at the show, it's an additional $6. Basically, the colors are $6 a bottle. We reduced our price expectation on them too, so which is really rad. I don't know what these guns are. I forget what they're called.
Plasma coils.
No,
not those ones. Little
Fisters.
Those are fisters?
No, I don't know what they are. I don't remember what these are called. Phosphor cannons or something, maybe? I don't know. Grav guns? I don't know.
Well, we need to pay extra sales tax, says Earl Teddy.
There is sales tax at the show, yeah.
Yes, Mo, I did not prime this. Jason did. I don't prime the back of things.
Why, was there a priming mistake?
No.
Did I miss something?
They're just keeping me accountable.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Also, if you guys need some links, here we go. Some of you are asking, the Minis is Art Celebration. That is all of the details right there that I typed out. Go to that link, hit that link, and you can see all of the stuff when it comes to the miniatures as Art Celebration at Adepticon. We'll be releasing the OneStep paints and the medium, and we're also holding the teaser challenge. So bring your models if you're coming. There's going to be feedback. It's going to be big. It's going to be big, chat. There's a lot going on.
Ton of great artists there.
Oh my gosh. This could be a blast.
If I had ever had a way to come and hang out with cool folks and just get feedback from some of the artists that we've got here for nothing, you just hang out, talk to people. That is to die for. I'm really excited to see what people think about the experience at the booth this year. Big deal. Make sure if you like it, you congratulate Gabe and Chris at the show. They've done a knockdown job.
A lot going on. We want to, we just want to have, honestly, we just want people to have fun and enjoy this hobby. No matter what. Gabe says, who, me?
Who you?
Who? Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Game Delay says, as I'm getting into more actual games with real life friends, I'm realizing that if I only paint the front of the models, I spend more time looking at the back, and that's just sad.
That's why I said it's it. I don't
That's why I
understand
turn
where
my
that came
gargants
from.
around.
We should always only paint the back.
That's why I turn my gargants towards me and then have them walk backwards.
Yeah, why don't we just paint the backs of models? Because that's the part we have to sit there and look at. We paint for other people's benefit all the time. I think it's very selfless in our hobby, right?
Yeah. That is true.
Very selfless hobby. Holy, I forget how much inner guts there are on these damn dudes.
Well, it's kind of, as you start painting these models in particular, then there's this piece.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to it.
That piece.
There's a lot to it for sure. This just makes it too easy. Even stuff like this that I normally don't think about, it just takes a long time. This just immediately goes down into the recesses perfectly, right? Gives you good, I mean, good God, I don't really have to work hard because it just gets everywhere. It has that, the laziness of an oil wash that somebody had mentioned earlier, it has that built in the way that it runs into crevices, like I was saying. So you really just load your brush up, get a lot of moisture on it. Like I think you've heard me mention a couple times, the only real problems that I have with this paint is that because I paint with so much moisture on the brush, I have to be careful, or you might touch an area and then unknowingly have it kind of seep into an adjoining area because you had too much on your brush. I have to reteach myself. You know, this is kind of the way I felt back in the day when I discovered washes for the first time. When acrylic washes were first made known to me, I kind of went wild with them, right? I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. And then you get it all over the place and be like, that was a mistake. I don't know that until right this very minute, I had thought in terms of, oh, the dark blue black is a fantastic way to black out all of your airbrush overspray. But it really is, because it gains just a little bit of the color from the purple, which can be neat for undertones for painting the metals, because it's kind of like the reflection of the purple is already baked in.
Right.
That's kind of fun. Time to go.
Source says, missed opportunity that you didn't name the paints Talent in a Bottle.
Talent in a Bottle.
What'd you say, Jason? I'm sorry, did you say something?
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me it was time to go.
It's 4:06.
Time to go.
You can go whenever you want. You can keep going.
Let me get the stuff on the top here.
Coyote Colson says, I remember old painting guides would you say that you needed to undercoat metallics in black. Is that still necessary with how good the coverage is with the newer metallics, ?
I undercoat everything in black because it gives me a baked-in shadow for every color, including metallics.
Right.
So I'm a fan of black for that reason, not because of coverage, but because of value. Right? If you start with a dark base coat, then as you put your color on, it inherits a little bit of that value, in the case of black, that darkness, and allows you to have the shadow. And then your second coat, you only paint on the areas towards your highlights, and it leaves the darker version of the color where you put it over the black first, you know, in the shadows, and that's perfect. That's layering. That's what we're trying to do as artists all the time, is create the idea of light on our models. And so that just helps. So I say, yes, stay with black. Couldn't you paint them over white? Sure. It'll give you more vibrant coloring. And if you're painting a dark metallic, then that might just be fine, because it'll go over the white and be dark anyway. And then when you highlight it, that's where you get your value. Up to you. But I teach people to paint over black and then work your highlight colors out of your shadows, and try not to have to go back and recalibrate your shadows. Right? Because you start dark, build from dark colors to light colors, and what I call painting yourself into a corner. You basically keep adding color until you run out of space, right? You'll go brighter and brighter and brighter until you wind up against that wall where, oh, I don't have any space to put another color, and that's when you know you're done. So that's an oversimplified way to say it. You know, you can still go back and filter in colors in the shadows and things that you want to do, but for the most part, that's the way I teach. So black is great. I don't know what else up there needs to be. Half the time I don't even know what I'm looking at on these guys, but for filling in detail areas like this, it's easy. It's so just punch the brush in there with wet paint and it fills all the gaps. That's what I was talking about. Done.
Roadside Miniatures has a question.
Sure.
Okay, I have a question about brushes.
Yeah.
My current setup is 0124, which all stay sold out, LOL.
Yeah.
I was wondering if adding...
Because that's everybody's set, right?
I'm wondering if adding in 3 and just getting the full sable set would be beneficial. So
100%.
so I guess the real question is there a real benefit to having the bridge between 2 and a 4? So you're looking for a 3. I religiously use the number 3 Dauntless for everything, it seems like.
Yeah.
Specifically the number 3. That's just my take. But
So-
Jason will have one too.
So I typically use the 2 and the 4 in the Pro Synthetic set forever, right? I'm using a 6 in the Pro Synthetic set right now because basically vehicle, right? But the 2 and the 4 in the Synthetics are my favorite brushes. When the Dauntless set came out, we made a 3 and a 5 out of that set so that they were different than the Pro Synthetic. So if you like Synthetics already, then you could get a really good set that had some other sizes and a reason for it to exist. But I have to admit that the size 5 and the size 3 and the Dauntless brushes have very quickly overtaken my use of 2s and 4s. Because the 3 and the 5 are the equal of having a 2, a 4, and a 6 almost, right? They're hybridized enough that I can use the 5 for most of the big things I paint, like this. And and the 3 typically will do anything that the 2 can do.
Yeah.
So that's one way to look at it. But again, it's personal preference. I don't know that there's a right and a wrong or a have to have. I love the 3. The Sable 3 is the only Sable I use when I paint. And I've been using the hell out of it lately, because those were the first ones that we did when we tested the US production brushes, were the Sable 3s. So I have a whole bunch of those. I've been testing with the 5 lately, I think. You guys have seen me use the 5.
Right.
Because we just got the full set out of the production labs. So, but I don't know. It's all preference. I tend to stay with, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So I know that doesn't help you, because you're like, well, what should I get?
I think a 3 would be good. I think you're going to use the 3 if that's your main question, Roadside.
Oh, 100%.
Is there a particular reason why the Sable brushes are smaller than the same size, whether in the Dauntless or Pro Synthetic? Question mark.
The way that the hair is bundled on the Sable makes that appear to be the case. Because the thing that is kind of special with our Sables is that we do them in a very straight taper, as opposed to a fat-bellied artist round type Sable. And that's basically a customized set shape for us. Whereas the synthetics, you don't do that too, because the synthetics don't maintain a flame shape anyway. They're more of a straight taper. So that's just more about what a Sable takes in hair count to bundle it to a 3. As to the fact that they feel a little bit different.
What size would you suggest, Jason, works great or best with OneStep paints?
Oh,
I guess it really depends. Like
I said, I've been using my 2s, 4s, and 3s. But that's just, it's no different than any other brush you would paint with, right? Because you're still putting paint on the same surfaces. So the paint itself doesn't require you to use a special size or shape brush. It's whatever you feel comfortable painting with. I will tell you that if you're one of those people that's comfortable painting with a smaller brush, like let's say you do a lot of your work with a number 1, you're going to want to move up to a bigger brush, because you need to be able to load more material on it. It's a very different form of painting. Like I said, for those of you that are paying attention, in all of the days we've been painting with OneStep, I rarely leave with any paint on my thumb.
Yeah.
When we normally paint, I have a ton of paint on my thumb, because I'm controlling the amount of material on the brush all the time. And with OneStep, you're not doing that. You're putting all the material on the model, because it's running around and filling in the gaps for you. That's part of the biggest reason why it's faster to paint with these paints, because they seep into the areas. They cover things quicker. So I'm just filling up the brush here and then going in and tapping it around, and it flows into all the crevices and cracks. So where I'm just making a few heavy brush strokes, and those few heavy brush strokes are sending paint everywhere I need it to go. So normal paint doesn't act that way. And you typically are having to, use a lot more, what's the right word? Finesse when loading your brush. So you're going to want a bigger brush when painting with OneStep, is the long and short of it. That's the only thing that I can tell you. So I would say, a 2, 3, 4 is where you want to be. Osho.
Jason XG says, perfect. That's what I was wondering, because I'm one of the people that paints with a smaller brush usually.
Yep. Yeah, some people like that because, it feels like you can get into tight details on the fly and you don't have to switch your brush. And I'm totally with you on that one. I get it. I get into those realms where I get caught up doing that on very small details and then forget to change back out, because a number 1 can be a fantastic brush to just paint normal stuff with.
Yeah.
And it's not until I get into like, I'm painting a vehicle with a normal 1. Like if I was trying to do that on this guy right now, I'd be pulling my eyes out. But with the OneStep, you're going to want more fluid than that small brush will hold in order to get the effect. Because it doesn't want you to I say flood the area. It's not that you want to flood the area. You don't want so much paint that it gets on everything. Because like I said, gravity will make it run into low spots and get on things that you don't want it to get on. So be careful with it. But in general, you need a lot more fluid on the brush.
I remember in an older stream you said you would modify existing brushes to have less of a belly, and when you made your own brushes, they have that same profile.
Correct.
What makes you prefer that style?
Because when you paint with the side of your brush as a miniature artist. When you're painting 3D material, right, you're painting more with the side of the brush than with the tip of the brush. And because of that, the side of the brush needs to be as straight as possible, because if you're pulling a line with it, if it's big, fat, flame belly style, as most artist brushes are, to hold more paint, the problem is that, like, if you're doing an edge, right, a sharp edge, let's use this guy's base, right? So if I'm doing a sharp edge, notice how our synthetic, going close?
Yeah.
Notice how our synthetics have a very straight taper, just like our sables, right? If I have this, then I can basically use that and pull along the edge and get a consistent amount of paint out, because it never changes, right? The pressure I have to apply to get the line on there. If I have a fat belly on there, I've got to rotate the brush around, right? Because the curve goes from fat, where there's a lot of paint, to thin, where there's very little paint, and my line shape might change. So having a straight taper when painting physical things makes all the sense in the world. Whereas when you're painting a canvas, you just want a lot of paint in the belly, so that as you paint, it keeps drawing more out. So the straight taper for 3D things and the flame shape for canvas is really good. The straight taper can paint canvas too. There's no reason you can't.
There you go. The more you know.
Well, I'm out of paint, so we'll
You're
stop
out of
here.
paint?
I'm out of the blue. I might be able
Monument, to be clear, is not out of paint.
We're out of paint.
No.
Chat. We are out of paint.
We are not out of paint.
I'm very sorry to announce this.
Nope. Just to be clear, for legal
Our
purposes.
competitors are going to love it.
I'm
They
sure
no
they
longer
would.
have to try hard.
Get good, scrubs. Chris didn't restock. What? No, don't blame me. I'll take the bullet for our team. Why not? I'll take the bullet, Jason.
I don't know why.
Why not?
Well, nobody was asking you to.
I did anyway.
Chris,
The slings, the arrows, protecteth thee.
I think jumping on the grenade is my new thing that I'm going to have you. That's what you do.
You could have me jump on the
You
grenade?
jump on grenades, yeah. You're the grenade jumper, the monument grenade jumper.
I've already built this fortress metaphor.
Yeah, I know.
I
That's why
want.
I'm wrecking it.
That's my preferred one.
That's a good amount of contrast. I really like it now that we've blacked out a lot of that with the purple on there. It looks so good.
How does the OneStep look on an organic body like that Trog? Well, his
I can show you our troll.
I gotta
troll
reprime that, dude.
Our poor troll has been
Mutilated.
He's been mutilated. We've done it. I've mixed gloss varnish in with it. I've rubbed on it really hard to see what its sticking power is. That's what you can see back here. We've really beaten up these trolls. But I'm doing my Uroni, and this guy, has got it. The only thing I did here is I went with Nova Orange over the top for the highlights on the muscles. Then this was done with yellow and then crimson over the yellow to get the kind of more orangey red on him. And all of this is done with OneStep. The black, the reds, the browns, the blue mixed with the graphite gray on the blade, and then I think I just used some white blue as a highlight on this. So, again, it makes it feel good to go fast, because you still get a really good initial look, and then you can work it back up however you like, right? This guy, same thing. Not as organic of shapes, but still, with leather and not all hard panels. And you can see the smoothness. We use this as a way to show you how the paint doesn't really glom up like other speed paints do. You don't get really, big dark splotches, and that's just a flat side of a tank, basically, just in thin slivers. And it worked really well. It also was a good one. I showed this to show you how the crimson OneStep mixed with the beige red, which is one of our flesh tones. We can mix them together, so you can mix the OneStep colors with the normal opaque colors in the line and get mid-tones out of them, so that once you have put crimson on the model like this, you say, well, how do I highlight that speed paint? If my highlights didn't show up the way I wanted to on the model, we'll mix in a brighter color from the line. not one of the OneSteps. Mix in, pink, mix in pale yellow, mix in beige red, and they mix great as colors, and then you can paint with them just like normal. So it makes them much more flexible because you can put them anywhere in your process that you want. This was the bright jade mixed with the OneStep medium. Right, and then we mixed a lot of the colors up here and did it. All of this is OneStep as a starting point. Again, graphite gray on the blade and just really simple stuff. I think I did like a mix of the orange and the yellow to do the gold, where I'm going to do non-metallic gold on these guys. So it gives you really, I mean, it's almost done. Just highlight it with pale yellow and the golds will be done. So super simple. I keep coming up with more ideas on how to do it. Today when we decided to do this purple, just being able to say, okay, well, using something like dark warm flesh underneath the purple gave us this really great vibrant purple that has kind of an orangey, what would you call it? Pearlescent to it almost. So coming up with new ways to underpaint and blend and figure out your colors, I think is going to be a ton of the fun.
Gonna be great, bud.
Yeah, the medium is huge, and like I said, it's literally magic in a bottle. It's revolutionary. I think when people get it and see that it really does live up to what I'm hyping it as. You take our regular paints and turn them into OneStep paints. For those people that we had somebody out there say they already have 140 of our colors. You just now have 140 OneStep colors, really. The only colors you can't mix with it are the washes. The washes don't want to be mixed with OneStep. That's it.
The world will explode.
Don't cross the streams. But everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us, watching some paint dry.
Great stuff.
It's been great as we go along this trip. I'm really stoked to show you more and more. I every time we do something like this, the fact that this is all OneStep color on here for the final colors. Obviously, the pre-colors were not. They were done in our regular primer and opaque colors, but holy, I mean, that is fantastic and didn't have to be anything that you got to be good at,
Yeah. Yep.
And your whole army can look spectacular very, very quickly. What's the release date on the new artist acrylics? April 6th, I believe. Matthew. April 6th is what Kyle told me today. That may change, but right now we're in agreement that April 6th sounds good. That's the week after we get back from Adepticon. So as long as the only thing that would delay that is if they have a problem getting all of the retailer pre-orders out the door and to the retail stores first, because we like to make sure the retailer orders are out the door before we put it live on the site. That way that the local gaming stores get to see the rush too. So that's the hope. Bushman, thank you for hanging out again. Everybody, thank you so much for chilling with us on a Monday. I hope your weekend was great and that your week is off to a fantastic start. Remember, hit the follow, subscribe, and whatever else buttons in front of you, because we do this Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona. We'd love to see you back. Hang out with us, ask questions. You guys drive a bunch of great content just by asking me questions, so I'm glad we can help you out, hopefully give you some inspiration, hopefully show you some fun new stuff with new product coming out. And we're going to look forward to seeing a bunch of you at Adepticon next week. Oh, my God. Why does that hit me so hard? Right in the feels, Chris.
Right in the feels.
I'm not ready.
You're ready.
I'm not. Have you seen my Star Wars army?
It's almost. What are you talking about? It's like done. You keep saying that, but you got a whole tray of army there.
It's close. It's close. It is. I haven't taken the time to smell the roses and know that this is the least amount of time I've ever spent on having that many models done.
That's what I'm saying.
Again, I like we showed off, and I just
you keep saying that, but I'm like, you're kind of already done.
I don't know. That's one coat of each of those colors in the one. It's
one step.
Yeah, that's just too easy. The only thing it needs is a dry brush on the gun.
You keep saying that.
Well, yeah. If you want to, the black is super intense, and the black, because I didn't focus on the guns when I did the dry brush, I should have, because the guns didn't get as much attention when we were doing the pre-highlight. I don't know why. I just didn't. So anyway, I gotta fix that. Your weekend's just starting, TechBet? What?
Jealous.
What? How does that work?
I don't know.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Make sure to check out the links that Chris put up in the chat. Check out monumenthobbies.com, monumenthobbies.eu. Next time you're looking to fill up some of the holes in your hobby space, we've got great products. Go try them. Do it. Do it now.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out the Discord. We've got coming up on 7,000 amazing artists just like you guys hanging out with us in the Discord every day. Lots of live discussions, lots of great inspiration, lots of really good people there that will help you out, whether you're wanting to know color schemes or have questions about models or games or painting, you name it. We've got a tremendous community, including all of the people here at Monument that you can interact with on a daily basis. Great place to hang out.
Yep.
And stick around. Chris, you gonna find us somebody to raid?
I am.
He's gonna find us somebody to raid.
That's
so
a lot of
more
fisters.
hobby goodness as you go off into your Monday night. It's 6,849 fisters. But thank you so much. Enjoy. Show some love in the channel we wind up in, and enjoy your evening. We'll catch you back here tomorrow. Adios, gang.